John, your old teammate Wayne Carey has gone on air on podcasts and basically said that Buddy's a spent force and he's probably played on a year too long. What's your response?
Oh, first of all, I don't listen to Wayne on the podcast, but is he doing podcasts, is he? Okay. Well, I mean, last week, Bud spent 2 days in bed, Thursday, Friday. I spoke to him Friday afternoon at 4:30 and he spent all day in bed on Friday. He wasn't going to play. And just because of the competitor he is and knowing that we didn't have any other options, he said, I'm right to play. So I just think shooting from the hip without knowing all the facts, maybe a short little text to the old teammate might have been worthwhile. But look, in the end of the day, he's, Bud he was really sick last week. And he's just a massive competitor. So for him to be able to climb out of bed last week and get on the footy ground was just extraordinary. He knew that the option we had was Francis to play forward, but we had to use him back, and there was no one else. We had, I think, in our VFL team, we had most of our forwards, all of our forwards are sort of 180 centimetres. So it's a credit to Bud to be able to get himself out there and put himself in a position to compete. Now, people might say once you do that, you've got to be able to hold up a certain standard, but as far as I'm concerned, I think Bud's absolute team first, and that's what he's always been, a massive competitor, to be able to get out there and help the team, and that's where his head was at last week, and good on him for doing it.
Is it that competitiveness and that sheer presence that makes you to continue to pick him as a coach?
Well, I mean, in the end, he takes the best opposition defender every week, which gives others a chance to shine. And his ability to be able to play like he did 10 years ago, I think everyone has to sit back and just understand that that's not the case. The expectations have to be adjusted. His ability to be able to play at that level obviously is going to be impacted the older he gets. He's the oldest player in the competition at the moment. So I just think he's going to have some bad days. Last week he spent 2 days in bed, and he's a type of player who'll put himself out there and try and put himself out there to compete every week.
I beg your pardon. And he's had a raft of injuries, leg injuries in particular. I know they're not the same age, but Tom Trbojevic in rugby league is coming back as well. Does it look like, when he's running in particular, that it's a confidence thing with Buddy?
I just think you get to 36 and he's had some knee injuries this year, and he's missed some football this year coming back through that. I just think it's his ability to be able to put himself out there and compete every week is at the highest level, and always has done since he's been with us. He's just amazed me what he's been able to play with. Now, clearly at 36, it's a challenge for him, but he knows also that we desperately need him. We desperately need him at the moment. Last year we had, I think, going up in that 10-week run where we had 6 changes in 10 weeks, 2 with injuries. I mean, we've had 21 changes this year to our team, and he knows that we need him out there. And we love him at his very, very, very best, but there's also an understanding that whatever he can give us is something that we're really fortunate to have. And our team's fortunate to be able to have a player like Lance to be able to get out there and give us whatever he's got, and understanding that whatever he's got is a real bonus for us. And I just think you just need to just look at the facts a bit.
Yeah, he sets such a high standard for himself over the years. Have you sensed any frustration the last couple of weeks that he hasn't reached that level?
No, but I think everyone understands. Once again, he's 36. That's just he's going to have a crack, and he understands that there's no one that's sort of, Logan McDonald was our other one that we lost last week very early in the game, and he understands how desperately we need a key forward in front of the ball, because we don't have anyone in our VFL at the moment to be able to do that, and so he's absolutely team orientated, putting himself out there to give us a target forward of the ball. Now, sometimes we don't get it right, sometimes he doesn't get it right. But that's okay. He's absolutely thinking team first to get himself out there every week.
So ideally, if you didn't have all these injuries, you'd like to give him a week off here and there?
Yeah, well, it's not we don't have that luxury. So in the end, with the start of the season, we thought if we could do what we could do if Joel and a number of our other players were up and running, we'd be able to do that, and we thought that would be a great plan coming in. But the realistic opportunity for us at the moment is we need him playing. And he's doing everything he can to get himself right every week to get out there.
Just touching on these injuries, you obviously mentioned on Saturday it's probably catching up with you the last few years. You have another 2 on Saturday. What has it shown you with the depth that you've got coming into the squad and some of the younger guys that are starting to play a few games that you may not have expected?
Well, we're seeing a few that are coming in. Like we're playing, I think with those changes that we've had, the reality is that those guys are coming into the team and having some opportunities. As always, young players coming through, some are doing it well. We'll miss a couple this week. Sheethers, unfortunately, will be out. He's got some stress in his foot again, so he'll miss. So unfortunately, even a couple of those younger players, we'd like to be able to keep going.
Tom McCartan and Pete Ladham, what chance do they come back into the side this week?
Tommy McCartan won't be in the team this week, but Pete, we expect, will be. If he gets through training, he'll be fine.
Such a difficult period with all these injuries and the losses. How do you keep morale up, and how is the atmosphere at the moment?
No, it's fine. I mean, in the end, you just control what you can control. You go out there every week and look at what the type of players we want to, the type of football we want to play, regardless of who's available. And you focus on that. The controllables are something we've always looked at. We look at our shape, our contest. Our pressure's been very good, which has been something that we've been able to hang our head on, but we're still inconsistent with that during games, and whether that's pressure or contested ball or ability to be able to score or stop opposition teams from scoring, that's been up and down, and so we're still striving to get that right. Clearly we haven't got it right for the 4 quarters yet. We won 2 quarters on the weekend, lost 2 quarters, one was 20 odd points, and that really cost us. So that's been something that we're still working on, and that's still a work in progress.
What do you make of North Melbourne? Obviously a team that's just as desperate to snap that losing run.
Yeah, look, they've had some injuries and they'll probably have some players missing as well, but it's about us, and we obviously look at what North Melbourne are doing and what they can do, but we're mindful of making sure that we get our team going in a bit more 4 quarters that we'd like to be able to do. So that's what we're focusing on at the moment.
Talking about those 4 quarters, you guys haven't typically been ahead in contested ball and clearances, been something you've struggled in this season. You obviously want to focus on it every week, but it's over the next few weeks you really need to focus on sort of picking that back up to the standards you used to.
Yeah, the ground balls and that, we've been okay. It's mainly been, we've had some free kicks against that were costly again on the weekend. I think we had a couple of 50-metre penalties in that second term that really cost us. A couple of costly free kicks have been, so if you look into what it is, that's been probably the area that's really cost us. We think in general we'd like to be able to get more efficient going forward and have less easy goals kicked against us. That's what we'd like to be able to do and do it for longer. Unfortunately, we've had lapses in games where that's been costly, and that's what we're trying to fix.
Mill's obviously injured. Is Sheldrick a chance to come back into the side after his 36 in the VFL?
Yeah, we've got a couple of boys in the VFL that look like coming in. That will come in this week. So he's in the mix.